I'm Stacy Knowles, Entertainment Director of SNDJ Entertainment in Pensacola, Florida. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. It's Tuesday Questions for March 24th, 2020. And of course, we're right in the middle of this coronavirus thing. Everything's been happening, and it just seems like this thing is just blown up all of a sudden. Even 2 weeks ago when we did our last show, I was telling you about how I was going to be going to Las Vegas, and I was supposed to go last week, and I wasn't sure if we were going to have a show or not. And, well, long story short, the convention ended up getting postponed. Actually, ended up getting canceled in the way that we had expected it to, but they still did it online. We still had all our seminars and all the content, and we were able to watch it online last week, which was what I was doing. So still got the convention in, but we just didn't go to Las Vegas, which, I sort of hated about that. I was looking forward to that, but with everything going on right now, I can understand why, it would not be a good idea to try to travel or anything like that. And while we're talking about that, let me just give you some inspirational words right now as far as the coronavirus. And this is just my own personal feelings on this, okay? I know that, being quarantined, maybe you're being quarantined to your house or something like that right now, but, we got to look at it this way. We got to take these precautions that the CDC and the government and everybody else is recommending, because they just don't want this thing to spread any more than it already has. It's already bad enough as it is, and we just don't want to see it spread any more than it already has. So just make sure you listen to the CDC, you listen to your local authorities, and just do what you're told. Make sure you wash your hands with sanitizer, all that good stuff, and work from home if you possibly can until this thing passes. And it will pass. Things will get back to normal again. And, we're going to get through it. So you just got to keep a positive attitude on that. And I know that, a lot of people have, maybe lost their jobs right now and, may not be getting a paycheck and all that kind of stuff. And they're trying to work all that out in Washington. I mean, it's a mess when you turn on the news right now. But just keep that in mind that, everything will be okay and we will get through this. Hopefully get through it, sooner rather than later. But, we're going to work through this, and we'll just make sure that that we just stay on top of it. That's the best thing to do, and just make sure you do your part as far as that goes. Now, one thing I do want to say about Tuesday Questions is that we're able to kind of break away from all this stuff that you're hearing in the news and all that, and actually answer some of your questions on mobile DJing, which is what I want to do here. And that's that's why we're trying to do that. I'm not trying to make any light of the coronavirus situation or anything like that, but maybe just to divert your attention away from all that for a little while, and answer some of your questions, which you guys have still been emailing me, and I certainly do appreciate that. And if you do have a question, please feel free to send me an email, and I'll be glad to answer your questions on that. And I also want to remind you that even though a lot of the questions that we get are regarding weddings, that's not all we do. We also do parties and school dances. So if you have questions about parties and school dances, or possibly mobile DJing just in general, I mean, if you have a general question for me, feel free to email me about that. And also, if you're watching this from another part of the country or around the world or somewhere like that, this isn't just for people that live in Pensacola, Florida, or right here along the Gulf Coast. If you live, somewhere else, like say, even if you live in Alaska and you got a question about mobile DJing or how to hire a DJ or something like that, go ahead and send me your questions, and I'll be glad to answer your questions as well. So this isn't just restricted to people right here in my home area. Okay? All right, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to your questions. And our first question is from Sarah. This is actually about the coronavirus. And she wants to know, with the coronavirus, what happens if we have to postpone our wedding? And that's a very good question, Sarah. I've had a lot of brides, especially in the last week or so, that have had to postpone their weddings. And here's what we're doing as far as that goes. If you have a wedding coming up anytime soon, I'm sure a lot of other DJs and other vendors are doing the same thing that I've talked to anyway. But if you have a wedding coming up in the next few weeks or maybe month or so, what we're doing is we're actually just taking your retainer fee that you paid and your contract and just moving it to a new date for you. And, everything stays the same as far as the contract. If you happen to, get a special, like maybe at a wedding show, or we're running a special when you originally booked or something like that, you get to keep your same rate, your same package. You get the same discount as you did. So everything stays the same. The only difference is we just change the date. So it's that simple. We don't charge a change fee or anything like that. We'll just simply write up a new contract and just change the date. But everything else will stay the same. So that's how we're handling that, and that's how a lot of other vendors are handling that. So thank you very much for that question. And like I said, I've had a lot of brides that have had to postpone their weddings, and that's unfortunate. But at least they are getting to postpone them, and we're working with them on an individual basis on that situation. Okay, Diane asks, I read on your website about the planning process. Can you explain that in more detail? I thought DJs just handle music at my wedding reception while we hired someone else to actually plan the reception. And yeah, it is true, Diane, that actually some DJs will just handle music, but that's not how SNDJ Entertainment works. We actually take it a step further, and we offer planning and preparation and directing with all of our wedding packages. And you may be asking, exactly what that is because you read that on our website and you're not really sure what all that means. So I'm just going to kind of give you a brief overview of that and give you some things to think about when it comes to planning your wedding reception and what we mean when we say we serve as your planner and director for the entertainment portion of your reception. First of all, it will not be necessary for you to have somebody else to plan the wedding reception out because we do handle that, and we do offer that in each one of our packages. So yeah, it definitely won't be necessary for that. But however, I do realize a lot of brides and grooms do have wedding coordinators, and usually what we tell the wedding coordinators, and we ask you to tell the wedding coordinators, is that their job's pretty much over once the ceremony is over with, because we're going to handle everything from that point on as far as directing the wedding reception, and it won't be necessary for them to put a timeline together or anything like that because we handle that as well, and we'll contact your other vendors and take care of that. So really, when it comes to your reception, your wedding coordinator won't have any further duties when it comes to that, as far as planning and preparing and directing and all that good stuff. So we'll handle that, and that'll give them a chance to concentrate on other areas too. The wedding coordinators we've worked with say that they really love that, and they've never had a DJ service that actually handles those details. So that's a really welcome relief. And I'll even go a step further and say, you probably developed a close relationship with your wedding coordinator. So why don't you just invite them to sit back and relax and enjoy your reception with you and your guests, and we'll take care of everything else as far as the scheduling the events and making sure everything runs smoothly and all that good stuff so they can sit back and relax. Okay, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, basically the process runs like this. The first thing that we do is normally we have our consultation, whether that's at Starbucks or if we do a video consultation or phone consultation, however we decide to do a consultation, that's usually where everything starts. And during the consultation, we'll go over a sample outline of how a wedding reception normally runs, because I've had a lot of brides and grooms that really don't even know where to start when it comes to planning a wedding reception. And we give them some ideas. We just go over a sample outline, and that outline is not written in concrete by any means. I mean, we can always change things around. We'll customize your reception however you want it and add things in, take things out, whatever you want to do. But that just gives you a good starting point and some good ideas there to think about. And then once you decide that you want to go ahead and hire us, we'll go ahead and send you a copy of our reception planning guide, which I've had a lot of brides tell me that one planning guide alone has really saved them a lot of stress and made their planning process a whole lot easier. And that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that the whole process from start to finish is easy and fun for you, and that includes the planning. But the planning guide includes a lot of helpful tips, suggestions, and also includes the outline that we went over at your consultation and all kinds of other things. So you'll find a lot of helpful information there when it comes to planning a wedding reception. We'll also send you a copy of our wedding reception information form and our ceremony information form, just in case you need us for your ceremony as well. So we'll make sure you have those forms, and they can be filled out online. And basically what those forms include is there's information about music, and not only music, but also the events that you'd like to have. You can check off the events that you'd like to have at your reception, everything that you want. And what we'll do is we'll take that information that you put in the form, and that's what we'll use to put your wedding reception planner together. And if you're, like I said, if we're doing your ceremony, you'll fill out the ceremony form as well, and we'll put all that together as well. But now once you return that information form to me, I'll go ahead and type everything up on a written planner for you and send it back to you so that you can look it over, make any changes that you want to make or anything like that. But once you give me your final approval that planner is how you like it, and this is usually about a month before the wedding, I'll go ahead and send it out to your other vendors, like your photographer, your caterer, videographer, whoever you want it sent out to. We'll make sure that they have a copy of it and they know exactly what we're going to do and when we're going to do it. Then on wedding day, I'll be serving as your director by making sure that everything runs smoothly. For example, when it comes time for the wedding party introductions, I'll meet with the wedding party privately outside. We'll make sure everybody's lined up. I'll let them know what they need to do once we announce our names and all that kind of stuff. And throughout the reception, I'd be checking with you, like let's say before we do your cake cutting, your toast, any major events like your first dance, any spotlight dances or anything like that. I will check with you to make sure that you're ready. And then at that point, I would also check with your photographer and your other vendors, but especially your photographer, because we want to make sure that they're ready. We don't want to announce something and then have the photographer photographer say, wait a minute, I've got to switch out a cartridge or something like that, or somebody yell at the bride's in the bathroom. So that's why I always make sure that I check with the bride and groom and the other vendors before I announce anything on over the microphone for the guests, to make sure that we're ready. So, and I won't make any announcements until I've done that. So that's how we serve as your director, and we just make sure that everything, runs smoothly throughout the reception. So really, that's just the gist of it as far as the planning process, but we can go more into detail about that if you go ahead and schedule a consultation with us, and we'll talk more about that and give you some more information on how that goes. But basically, we're here to make your life easier, and we do a lot more than just handle music, and we'll make sure that everything runs smoothly and that you have a reception that you will love. And I've said this before, and it even says on our website that our goal is for you to walk away from your reception saying that was the best reception I have ever been to, and we want your guests to be able to say that as well. Okay, and good organization and communication is the key to that. Thank you for that question. Alrighty, Kim asks, when is the best time of year to get married, and when is the best time, or when should I be able to book my vendors? Or, excuse me, let me start over. She asks, when is the best time of year to get married, and when is the best time to be able to book my vendors? There we go. Well, Kim, I guess that really depends on when you're wanting to get married, and a lot of factors. I mean, let's say, for example, if you're planning a beach wedding, then you probably don't want to schedule your wedding in like November, December, January, or February, okay? So it really has to do with when what type of wedding you want to have, and a lot of other factors as when is the best time to get married. Now, let's say you're wanting an indoor wedding and you're wanting to find a time when vendors aren't that busy, and maybe you might be able to get some discounts on like your venue or maybe your other vendors or something like that. Then I would say probably January or February would be really good months to do that, because those aren't really busy months for us. And that would be a good time to do that if that's what you're looking for. However, if you're looking for more of a popular time to get married, like let's say you just want a spring wedding, and you want to have it outdoors, and you want the flowers all nice and beautiful wherever you're getting married or something like that, then probably in the spring or summer would be your best bet. Or like if you're having a beach wedding, then that would definitely be the time that you'd want to get married. So there's a lot of factors that go into that, so there's really not one way to answer, when the best time to get married. It just really depends on your preferences. And as far as when's the best time to be able to book your vendors, well, like I said, usually November to February is kind of a dead time for us, except maybe December. We have some Christmas parties going on, but really, those really aren't the busy months, and that's a really good time if you want to be able to have your pick of the vendors and try to schedule your wedding when vendors aren't really that busy. Usually starting in March, with the exception, of course, this year with the coronavirus and everything happening, we normally start getting busy right around mid-March. And for me personally, April, May, and October are my 3 busiest months of the year. I do have some weddings in the other months, but that's usually when I'm booked just about every single weekend is April, May, and October. And that's usually the way it is around this area. We usually start getting busy again. Like I said, usually right around March, around mid-March, and usually that takes us all the way through May, and then June we may have a couple of weddings, in July the same thing, and August as well. And then usually about mid-September we start getting busy again, and we're usually busy all the way through October, and then we may still have some more weddings in November. So that just kind of gives you an idea, on when you may want to decide to plan your wedding. But if you are planning like a wedding during any of those months, especially April, May, and October, I would definitely look at booking as soon as you can, because some of those dates book a year out. I mean, just last week I just booked a wedding for March of next year. So that's something to keep in mind there. So that's what I would recommend. Just really decide what your preferences are, and and that's what factors in when's the best time to get married. It just depends on your preferences. Okay, Jason asks, can you tell me how much should I expect to pay for a professional wedding DJ? Okay, Jason, yeah, I'll be glad to tell you that. Now, I do want to issue this disclaimer, okay, just in case you're watching this at some point in the future, that what I'm about to tell you is just the basic prices for Pensacola, Florida on March 24th, 2020. So, okay, so if you're watching this at some point in the future, just keep in mind that the prices may have changed. But as of right now, really anywhere between $800 and $2,000 is what you can expect to pay for a professional wedding DJ, just depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking for just something basic, probably closer to $800. But let's say you're looking for a real elaborate setup and maybe like photo booths and all this other stuff, then you're probably looking more in a range of $1,500 to $2,000. So it really just depends on what you're looking for. But like I said, if you're looking for just a basic reception with just a very, very basic light show or something like that, and not really a whole lot of bells and whistles, probably closer to $800, and it just goes up from there. So that's just something to think about. Now, I will say this though, there are some other DJs that are going to be cheaper than that, and you know, we talked about this before. You don't really want to hire the cheapest DJ that you can find. There are some that may charge $150, $200, or maybe $300, something like that. But I could go into a lot of reasons why you don't want to do that, but let me just say that that's just a route you really don't want to take. And usually they won't really provide the services that you're looking for a once-in-a-lifetime event. Okay, so we'll just leave that right there, but if you want to talk more about that, feel free to give me a call or just email me, and I'll be glad to talk to you more about that. And again, you know, really anywhere between $800 and $2,000 is a really good, you know, ballpark figure on what you can expect to pay for a professional DJ in our area. You know, I would say probably average about $1,000 for a professional DJ. Okay, Beth asks, we are planning a corporate Christmas party, but I noticed in some of your wedding videos that you can put a bride and groom's initials on the wall. Can you do that with businesses, or is that strictly just for weddings? Well, no, actually, it's not just for weddings. That's called a gobo monogram. And basically, you know, what we do is we just take an image, we monogram it on the wall, and you know, you've probably seen that with brides, because that's where a lot of those monograms come from, is because brides really like that. But if you have a corporate Christmas party, or maybe you're having just a party and you like, say you want to wish somebody a happy birthday or something like that, we can always make a monogram of that. And the way that works is you basically tell us what you want, and then what I'll do at that point is I'll contact the company that actually makes the monogram. I don't personally make them, but we have a company that makes them, and then what they do is they'll send it a proof back, and you can approve it, you know, or whatever, make any changes. And let's say you got like a company logo that you want to have done, we can definitely do that. But let me just show you what one of those looks like. I've got one of them right here. And you know, it's real simple. I mean, it's just a little disc that fits into my machine. And that's what blows up on the wall. Let me show you this real quick. There you go. You see that? Yeah, that's what it looks like there. That's what a monogram looks like. And yeah, it's just, you know, about the size of a quarter, and that's what fits into the machine. And that's what blows it up there on the wall. So yeah, and you get to keep this image at the end of your event, whether it's a wedding or a party or whatever. But now, one thing that we can do is, let's say you've got like a logo or something like that on your invitations. We can actually take the logo and make a copy of that and use that as an image if you want to do that. But no, it's not just for weddings. It's for any event that you want to have it done. So just let us know. We can always add that for you. Sure, yeah, absolutely. And we'll customize it for you as well. Alrighty. Alan asked, have you ever DJ'd a hurricane party? And if not, would you ever consider it? Also, if I had scheduled an event with you, whether it be a wedding or party, and we had a hurricane coming, would you be able to reschedule, and what's your policy on that? And okay, well, first of all, the first part of that question, Alan, is no, I've never DJ'd a hurricane party. Now, I have actually had people call me up and inquire about a hurricane party, you know, right at the last minute. But here's my take on that, okay? I would not really want to DJ a hurricane party if we had like a major storm coming our way and they were calling for evacuations. We just don't play around with that. You know, we recommend that if we do have a hurricane coming our way and they're calling for evacuations and telling everybody to leave town and all that other stuff, we would highly recommend that you follow those directives, and we would be too. However, let's say we have like a minimal tropical storm. It doesn't look like it's going to be that bad, and your event's going to be held inside. You want to have like a last-minute party. Then, yeah, we would probably do that. You know, that probably wouldn't be too big of a deal there. But yeah, hurricanes really aren't anything to play around with. So no, we don't do hurricane parties like that. We just kind of use our judgment on that. If there are evacuations ordered and stuff, we definitely would not be doing any type of parties at that time. Now, the second part of your question, if you had like a wedding or a party or something like that on the weekend that we had a hurricane coming our way, then what is our policy on that? Well, it's the same thing that we have right now with the coronavirus situation. We would definitely let you reschedule your wedding or event or whatever's going on with that. So that wouldn't be a problem at all. We would just simply just move your retainer fee and any money that you paid and everything to a new date for you. And there's no change fees or anything like that. So that's how that would work. Okay, alrighty, well that's going to wrap it up. That's our final question. And once again, if you have any questions for Tuesday Questions, please feel free to drop me an email. My email address is right there on the screen, and I'll be glad to answer your email privately. We'll also post it in a future video. So keep your chin up during this whole coronavirus thing. We're going to get through it. So everything's going to be okay. And just try to make the best of it, and we'll get through it, and everything will be fine, and we'll start doing events here before too long again, and we look forward to serving you at a future event. So have a great day, take care, and God bless. I'm Stacy Knowles at SN DJ Entertainment in Pensacola, Florida. Thank you for watching.